Perched high atop an unusual rock formation in central Greece sit several mountaintop monasteries. This is Meteora, where giant rock pillars reach to the sky. This remarkable landscape was formed when deposits of sand, mud, and stone flowed into a delta at the end of an ancient lake. Then 60 million years ago, the Earth pushed upwards, creating a high plateau with many fault lines. Erosion by water, wind, and extreme temperatures along those fault lines created the enormous columns of rock that you see today. Orthodox Christian hermit monks first arrived at Meteora between the 9th and 10th centuries. They were searching for quiet isolation and lived in the many caves that are scattered throughout the cliffs. In the 14th century, a monk named Athanasios climbed one of the massive pillars to establish the first of the Meteora Monasteries. The monasteries were built using a basic system of ladders, nets, pulleys, and baskets to haul materials up the steep rock faces. The monks had safety and security on the inaccessible rock pillars, as the only means of reaching it was by climbing a long ladder, which was drawn up whenever the monks felt threatened. The Meteora monastic community reached its height in the 16th century. Of the original 24 monasteries, 6 are still active today. We visited the monastery of Varlaam, which sits on a rocky pillar 1,200 feet above the valley floor. It is the second largest in Meteora. The monastery can be accessed by climbing 195 steps carved into the rock. Varlaam was originally established around 1350, when a monk named Varlaam managed to climb the cliff, followed by a few other monks. Decades after Varlaam died, the site was abandoned and fell into ruins. Then in the early 16th century, 2 brothers reactivated the abandoned monastery and spent many years building a beautiful chapel dedicated to All Saints in 1541. When visiting any of the monasteries of Meteora, no shorts or sleeveless tops are allowed. Women must have a long skirt or dress. When we visited, long scarves were provided for those who didn't have the appropriate attire. Photographs or video are not allowed inside the church at Varlaam or any of the monasteries of Meteora. At the monastery of Varlaam, there is a nice museum where visitors can see a beautiful collection of religious art. There is also a very large 16th century oak barrel used for water storage. After our visit to the monastery, we hiked down a portion of the Monks' Trail to the town of Kostraki. This beautiful trail was paved in stone by the monks to help their animals carry the materials to build the monasteries. A few days later, high up in the Peloponnese region of Greece, we visited the beautiful Philosophou Monastery.
So the church older, the building is from the Byzantine period as
Built in 1661, this monastery was a center for educational and cultural activity. Several important manuscripts from the 12th century were kept here. Those manuscripts are now held at the National Library of Athens. Today the monks offer cold water, coffee, and sweets to visitors. There are also several resident cats that call this monastery home. The gates are always open as several hiking routes pass through this area. A beautiful river named Lousios runs through this area of the Peloponnese. We hike down into the gorge along the river. Hidden in the gorge is the monastery of Agios Ioannis Prodromos. Built into the cliff during the 16th century, it is dedicated to St. John the Baptist. The entire monastery, with its main chapel, monks' living areas, refectory, and other structures, somehow fits into the hollow of the cliff. It is a peaceful and serene area of the surrounding mountains. We hope you enjoyed this video of a few of the monasteries of Greece. Please be sure to check out our other videos, and thanks so much for watching.